something of related to mole, molar mass, what again? Volume, what again? Mass, and so many things. What is now joining this together? Now, please, everybody, for those preparing for exam, try and cram all these 5 formulas that I want to. Note that you know we have mole, isn't it? Yes. And mole, the what are we using to denote mole? To denote mole, we use small n. Small n in chemistry. When you see small n in chemistry, it means what? Mole. Are we together? Now, to solve mole, we have n equals to what? Mole mass over what? Over molar mass. Are we into this? That's one. Number 2, we also have dealing with a dilution law. That is under practical aspect of chemistry. We also have what? N equals to CV. Assuming if you are given a question that we only have how many quantity? Mass and what? Molar mass. This is the formula to use. What of if you are given a quantity that has to do with, what do I call this in our previous lesson? We call it concentration. Or what? Molarity. Are we? So this now can also be the same thing as N equals to what now? MV. You see the same thing. Are we together? This is another formula for calculating mole. But always know that if you are using this formula, if your volume is in centimeter, you have to convert it to what? To DMK. By what? Dividing through by what? 1000. Are we in together? Are we in together? Now, but if your volume already it is in DMK, you don't need to divide it by what? By 1000. Your formula will just be what? N equals to what? CV. Are we together? Are we together? That is that under that. Now, the number 3, when you are dealing with something, a mole on ST, a mole on what? On ST what? STP. STP. S what? STP. What is that in chemistry? Standard what? Temperature and what? Pressure. Saturated temperature and what? Pressure. Are we together? We have to deal with what? N equals to, please cram that formula. For those preparing for exams, it will be N equals to V. Are we? Volume. Are we? In what? In what? dm cube. Are we? All upon what? 22.4 dm cube. This is the formula to use. Pressures, are we in? Now. Toiba. Now, this is what we are making. How many formula now? 3. Now, let's see another formula. When you are dealing with, that means if I call out a question that has to do with only volume, and you have to calculate the mole, what? You are not going to use this. You won't use this. But you will rather what? Use this. Are we in together? Now what follows? Number what? Number 4. When you are dealing with something related to ideal gas. Something related to what? Ideal what? Gas. Are we together? Then you use a formula. You use a formula where you have to calculate numbers of mole. But in that numbers of mole, you see something of ideal what? Ideal gas there. You can't use any one of these formula. You can't use them. It implies another formula. What would that be? It will be N equals to, or let me show you how to get that. Ideal gas, if we actually recall, based on the gas equation, we have PV equals to what? nRT, isn't it? What are we looking for? N. Divide through by the coefficient of N, which is R what? RT. R what? RT. This settles this. What are we left with? N equals to what? PV all upon RT. I know you know that. So I just tell you how we arrive at this. So now, in our question, if we are given pressure, we are given what? Volume. We are given R, we are given T. You can't use any one of these. You will rather go for this. Are we together? Are we together? This will now be what? This will be what now? This will be N equals to PV all upon what now? RT. Remain how many? Remain 1. Remain what? Remain 1. I love that. Number 5. Please hope you are really, if you like this video, don't hesitate to what? To subscribe on the what? On the subscribe button, and watch more on our next video on this Stoichiometry and some other what? Courses. on chemistry aspects. What is that? Number 5. Assuming all this in your parameters, in your calculation given, there is none of all this there. But you are in that your question, you are having an atoms there. You are having an Avogadro's constant there. What are you going to use? Now the n now equals to what now? Equals to numbers of what? Of particles are in what? In atoms. Are we together? All upon what? Avogadro's constant, which is what? 602 times 10 raised to what? 23 atom. So this is the formula to use. So if your question implies the atoms or particles and the Avogadro's something, this Avogadro's constant, this is the formula you use. 6.02 times 10 raised to power 23. Please cram that. Believe me, if you cram this 1, 2, 3, 4, and with this, to solve a problem relating to what? Stoichiometry analysis becomes more easy. Are we together? Now, we have two things. We are going to solve a question relating to using of each formulas. And we solve a question that is matching two formulas together. This match up with this. If you see a question that has mass, molar mass, concentration, volume, you match them together. Are we together? We call that mixing of the two formulas. You can mix 1 to 2 together. It depends on the question that is being given. You can match 2 to 3 together. 3 to what? 4 together. If I actually want to match this and this together, what would that be? 3 and what? 3 and 4 will be what now? Will be n equals to what? N. Isn't it? What is our n here? Volume all upon what? 22.4. That is the volume at STP, right? 22.4 equals to what is our number 4? Which is PV all upon what? RT. So you can use this formula to solve. They might ask you to find the P, they might ask you to find the V, they might ask you to find the R, they might ask you to find anything here. Are we in together? So you can be matching them together. We are going to be seeing some questions relating to that. So let's see questions under this particular what? Formula. Calculate the what? The numbers of what? Numbers of mole. This is not related to that previous something where we are using mole ratio, isn't it? We are asked to calculate the numbers of mole present in what? In 6.5 gram. What is that? 5 grams. Grams in chemistry, SI unit. The grams in chemistry implies what? Mass. Is it that grams or what? Gram per what? Per dm cube. Anyhow it is. Are we? Now of what? Of what? What compound? Sodium what? Sodium hydroxide, which is known as soda lime, isn't it? That means, what are we asked to calculate? Mole. Mole is represented as what? It is denoted as N equals to what is joining mass and mole together. What is that formula that is joining mass and mole together? It is what? Mass over what? Over molar mass. Are we together? Please try and understand the question. Are we? But we are given mass. Are we given the molar mass? No. But we are given the compound. That is the question. Now use the compound to find the what? The mm, which is the molar mass. What is the this one now? Please cram that. Na. Each atomic mass of each element in this compound give us the what? The summation of them give us the what? The molar mass. Are we together? Which will be what now? Sodium is what is the atomic number? 23. Atomic mass, sorry, is 23. What of oxygen? Oxygen is 16. What of hydrogen? Hydrogen is 1, not 2. Some people do make a mistake on this. They will write 2. It is not 2, it is 1. Why is it 1? It's because based on the EC, electronic configuration, we have only what here? We have only 1. This duplex structure isn't complete, so you can't make these 2. Are we together? Are we? So now what follows? Now you add them together in order to get what? Molar mass. What would that be? Let's match. 23 plus what? 16 plus what? 1. 23 plus 16 plus 1. What would that get? 16 plus 1 is what? 17. 17 plus 23 will give us what? Will give us what? 40. Right? Right? Now let's match it. Since we are our now equals to what now? 40. Let's match it. And we are having this. It's very simple now. It will be what? 6.5 gram divided by what? What will be? 40. gram. What will be the SI unit of mml? It is gram per what? Gram per mole. Are we together? Gram settles gram. We are left with what? Mole. 6.5 divided by 40. What is it going to give us? Is 0.16, right? What will be the SI unit for mole? N. What will be the SI unit? Moles. Are we together? That is the answer. Are we in? Are we together? Now this is another what? This is another beautiful question. What is that? What is the mass of what? Of what? 3.65 dmq. Or of what? CO2 at what? At what? At standard what? Temperature and what? Pressure. Are we together? Now, this question is somehow crazy, isn't it? Now, it is not crazy. All you need to do is, what are we given? Note that volume. What is the SI unit of volume? It is either centimeter cube or what? Or dm cube or what again? Liter. But note that dm cube and liter are the same thing. Are we together? Now, check. This is, what is the mass? What are we asked to calculate there? Mass. Note that. What are we having? Volume. Check the SI unit. Even if they didn't mention the name, be checking the SI unit. Of what? CO2 gas. At what? STP. Now note, what join mass with volume together? At STP. Note this STP. Under what formulas? STP. Which one say when we are solving numbers of mole under STP, what are we going to be using? We are going to be using what? N equals to what? Volume. Are we together? In what? In dm cube. If you can break the question, it's very simple. All upon what? 22.4 dm cube. Are we in? Yeah. Firstly, you have to use this formula. Secondly, we have mass. Are we having mass in this formula? No. How are we going to do that? Now, you will still go back to numbers of mole that is having mass. Which is what? Mass over molar mass. Because we can see CO2 here. We can actually find the what? Molar mass of this. Now, what would that be? N equals to what? Mass over what? Molar what? Molar mass. Are we in? Please, if you find this video helpful, well, you can just, like and what? Subscribe on this. Are we together? This is N. This is also what? N. What are we going to do? We equate them together. We mix them together. That's what I'm saying in our early lecture. That I said, the question that we have been doing is based on what? 1 formula. But this particular question implies how many? Compress everything together. One jump up. Are we together? What follows? What follows? Are we together? Now let's match that together. What would that be? It will be what? N equals to what now? N, isn't it? But do we need N? No. Do we need N? No. What are we asked to calculate? Mass. Now you match this, you match it with this. What is the scope that let us to know that this formula and this are what we are going to use? Just check here, STP. Whenever you see STP, this formula. Whenever you see mass, this formula. Are we together? It will now be what? Now let's match. What are we having? Volume all upon what? 22.4. Are we together? Equals to what is our mass? Unknown. That is what we are finding, isn't it? All upon what? Molar mass. What is the molar mass of CO2? Use the mass. What is the mass of carbon? 12. Are we? Plus, what is oxygen? 16. But it's having 2. Don't do a mistake. 16 times 2 will give us what? 32. Now, 32 plus 12 will give us what? 44. That means we have 44 here. Of what? Of what? CO2. Are we together? Then you cross multiply. This is facing it. Multiply. This is facing it. But substitute in the volume. Are we going to convert this volume? No. Already it is in standard what? Measure. DMK. Are we in together? So therefore, let me try and settle this. Therefore, what are we having? We have what? What is our volume? 3.65 divided by what? 22.4. Are we? Equals to what? What are we having? S over what? 44. S over 44. Let's cross multiply. This times this will give us what? 22 what? 4s. Are we together? Now, this times this will give us what? Press that.
160.6.
Do you press y? 3.65 multiplied by this. What is that? 160 point what? 0.6. I love that. Divide both sides by what? By 22.4 to get this s. Divide this by what? 22.4. This now settles this. We are left with what here? S. Now 160.6 divided by 22.4. 7 point what? 7.17. But what is it that we are looking for? What is our S? Is it not mass? What will be the SI unit? Gram. Please do not make that mistake. Gram or gram per dm cube. That is all. Are we? So that is when you match them together. Let's still see another question. Question number 3. And I would love that. What of do that in the comment section, and you to do that in our class. Do it as an assignment. What of if this now that is 60 centimeter cube? What are you going to do? That is an assignment for you watching and for you sitting. 60 centimeter cube. That means what are we going to do? You have to convert it to what? To dm cube. How do we convert? Divide by 1000 before you can start solving. Please try and do that. And let's make this SO. SO2. That is another one. 60 centimeter cube SO2. Please try and solve that. STP. You relate this when you do some little things. Are we together? That is that on that.